Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Look at that intro.
Amazing, buddy. Amazing.
um, Thank you guys. Thank you for joining us. I'm really excited to have Luis and Nick in this another amazing episode, guys. Um, Let me go and run it. What we're gonna talk today. We got a little preview for the NFL draft. Of course, we got our friend Nick doing his thing. Eventually, he's gonna do his own show. Tell us, Nick, about it a little bit, just in case people ask when you're gonna do the show about the NFL draft.
Yep. So we're pretty much going to cover front to back. One, my co-host Alex, he's a huge scouter. That's what he does as his career right now. So we're going to get more in depth into it. Check any of the late rounds, all of the different fun stuff that popped up, all of the people reunited with their other players. It's going to be a good time. That's going to be on Tuesday on the Mad Titan and the Wolverine. That is the other podcast. So make sure you tune in. That's on the Ask You White Facebook page.
Let's go. And we got Luis.
I may not go into detail, but I still want your guys' takes on that.
Oh, for sure.
We definitely will have. And Luis, we are excited to have you in as well. We got so many news. I know you have the latest with Ms. Marvel and the news with Mortal Kombat. Can you tell us about it?
Oh yeah. So earlier today or late night yesterday, they released at least 2 pictures showing the actress for Miss Marvel, Iman Yellen, the actress that is going to perform Miss Marvel in the actual costume. And folks, let me tell you, if we have seen so far with WandaVision as well as the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, comic book accurate costumes, wait until you see this costume. So I'm gonna post it later on today in our page as well, so everybody can see. But it is so accurate from head to toe. I mean, a good way to introduce a brand new character. And let me tell you what, Marvel, they're not gonna slow down. This is like a snowball that is good. It's picking up steam, and I think once Loki starts and we start getting all the rest of the releases, it's not gonna stop as well. And also, like Ricky just mentioned, Mortal Kombat 2. Now there's a big rumor that Warner Brother is in serious talks to go ahead and greenlit the second movie, the follow up for Mortal Kombat. So. It's picking up. I think when they released the news about Joe Taslim, who is the actor that performs and embodies Sub-Zero, when they released the news that he signed for 4 extra movies, you already knew that those talks were already behind the scenes and ongoing. Because there's no way that you can leak some actor, hey, why they're gonna sign for 4 extra movies if they don't have the numbers even for the movies. So apparently now is starting to basically steam up and make it official. So I'm just waiting to see the numbers for the second week of how they're doing. Apparently they are again leaders of the box office. So okay. So I'm wondering how worldwide they're doing, but I won't be surprised if they're also leading as well. So.
I just remembered, I forgot, I had seen a rumor that everybody moving forward, since we got that tease, spoiler alert, of Johnny Cage being in Mortal Kombat 2, a lot of people want The Miz from the Wrestling Federation.
I heard that.
Do you think he's going to be a good character? He's over the top, so.
For me, in a way, I think he will be perfect. I don't know if in fact, because I think they probably go with that role. I don't think they're gonna go with a big time A-lister. Like I saw another one with people wanting Ryan Reynolds, embodying Johnny Cage as well.
And that would be dope. But like you said, you gotta pay that man.
Exactly. I don't think they don't want that type of big name. So I think that Mike, the Miz, known in the wrestling world, I think he will be a perfect fit if they want to continue, that route of, someone lower than A-list if they don't want to pay the big money.
You're right, guys. I just like it to keep it small. Overall, we really enjoyed it. Um, so again, just keep it small. Mortal
Please
Kombat
don't
is a
bring in
brand.
Aquafina. Don't bring in Aquafina in Mortal Kombat 2. Jeez.
What are you doing, man?
Yo, that's what they
Aquafina,
do. Shang-Chi, they try to
Aquafina's
get.
gonna be great, bro, in that movie. She's gonna be the
Oh,
comedy
we'll see.
relief from that movie.
We'll
Hopefully, she's has superpowers as well.
Oh,
Um,
it'll be water.
but yeah, man, cannot wait to see Mortal Kombat 2. Hopefully, they started moving as quick as possible. So, because they got a universe there, and WB they make money, and they got HBO Max as the streamer, so they know they're competing against HBO Max, and a lot of streaming services. There, they had to keep continuing doing content. So, I think they're gonna continue moving forward. But let's go, guys. This is a special segment. We love movies, we love our nerd stuff, but we do love our sports first. Growing up, watching football with my dad, he's a Jets fan, but then I don't know what happened with me. I think I got bounced with my head. Look at this guy.
Hey, I like
Look at
that.
this guy. And I'm just
There
started
you go.
watching Cowboys. And I'm gonna have my quick thoughts in the draft. Honestly, the Cowboys are doing a great job. Hopefully, I think
That's
it's
what they
Jerry.
also.
I think it's Jerry Jones' son doing the job, not him. Um, Picking all defense for helping Dan Quinn as the new coordinator. I don't trust him, but I'm gonna see because we're still in the NFC least. I still think that we're gonna be really good in that sorry ass conference or division. But I'm really excited to see the talent and the team like together with that Prescott healthy, hopefully. Again, okay, I love my Cowboys, but I don't love Dak Prescott that much. I don't think he's accurate as a passer, but that's another take for another day. But I love Micah Parson at number. I think they moved back and they trade with the Eagles, and I hate why they did that, but I guess they got their person at number 12 anyways. Helping the Eagles, that's another thing that I hate. So they gave another good receiver to Jalen Hurts. I hate that, but again, I don't care. Whatever, we're still gonna beat them because we got a stout defense now. But I'm really excited to see what happens. Overall, the draft was awesome. The first, I just watched the first round. San Francisco, a lot of people are in love with Trey Lance, I believe. I thought they traded up to get Mac Jones, but I think they traded up to get Lance because I felt that somebody wanted him first. I think they see Patrick Mahomes all the way around. I think there's a disease of people thinking that everybody's gonna be Patrick Mahomes. That's gonna be really hard on people. But what are your thoughts, please, on the overall NFL draft and your Tampa Bay getting trashed?
I mean, what can I say? Exciting news, but I'm not gonna focus too much on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm gonna be, a little bit. I'm gonna be a little bit lenient and share the wealth.
That's a beautiful Aaron
But
Rodgers.
I gotta say something. I think the Patriots got the steal of the draft. I think Mac Jones is the actual QB
Who?
in this draft. Mac Jones. I don't think it's gonna be Lance
You
or
heard you.
any other QB. And I was surprised with Jones, dropping all the way down to and who else being the Patriots picking them. So, but it's really interesting. It wasn't too bad of a draft in a way for a lot of teams. Obviously, there's some questionable choices for overall for some couple of teams that it makes you like wonder like. Dude, like you still want to be a professional team in a way? Like what's
I know
what's
what
going
Denver's
on?
doing though.
So, but it's all about the Bucks and how they're doing. They were not, they didn't make a big bang in a way in terms of picks or anything like that because they kept their solid nucleus of who produced, last year. So that was basically
brought
the main
everybody
goal. Yes, they,
Yeah.
that was the basic, the main goal. Keep every nucleus and key player that perform last year and propel them for that Super Bowl win. So overall, it's still about the Bucks, regardless of what the Cowboys can do and don't do. So
I respect them.
You have to look at the little their team. Jeez. They go up against a Kansas City team and they don't even put up double digits in the Super Bowl. Stop.
Exactly.
I don't know, man. That's a debate for another day. Patrick Mahomes was injured.
There's no
in that
debate.
game, so,
There's no debate. It's over. It's
Patrick
been taken
Mahomes was
care of. The only
injured,
way
bro.
you can debate is on the field, and they did it.
Hopefully, Patrick Mahomes get help with the offensive line. So let's see what happens. By the way, guys, hey, Tim Tebow is making a comeback, just in case, you guys. Tim
This man has been
Tebow.
making a comeback for years. He was going to play baseball, then he was going to be a tight end before.
Dude,
None
I'm
of
being
this stuff
honest.
happened, man.
Now he's contemplating on playing tight end, something that he got told like 10 years ago to do. Now he wants to do it because he now wants to come back to the league.
Yeah,
That's
because
crazy.
being a college football analyst is not paying off. Where
Yeah,
it's,
baseball.
it has to do
You can only
something.
argue with Stephen A. Smith so much before it just becomes old. So, can I ask you, is this considered a big three? Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, and Tim Tebow.
I don't know.
Let's go. Merchandise, bro. I see merchandise.
Even Urban Meyer can't put that team together well. So,
I see a lot of money there. I
yes,
see a lot of money.
not wrong.
More than likely, they're probably gonna bring people. Once everything is start settling down, they probably could put some people in the seats. But let's see.
What are your thoughts on Trevor Lawrence? Do you think he's that dude? Really? Do you guys think he's that dude?
I think Joe Burrow's above him, but I think that his college career speaks for itself. I mean, even though he hasn't won a natty, I mean, he went undefeated in both high school and regular season of college his entire career. He played great teams, and it wasn't really him. It ended up being that defense that kind of shot them down that second year at Clemson. So I feel like it's not really on him, and it's a perfect position, perfect spot to be pop in and stuff. So I think he's going to be good, but if you're asking like the last 3-year quarterbacks, Joe Burrow over everybody. So
Yeah.
Definitely.
I do agree with you with Joe Burrow. Hopefully they protect him with the offensive line. I don't want him to like what happened with Andrew Luck. That now they have an offensive line, but they took a lot of time to actually build that up.
That's right.
We got some special guests around the.
Oh man, I love it.
Cleveland, stand up, Cleveland.
Where the dog pound?
Hey, Luis, shouting out. Yes, Devontae Smith. Do you guys think Devontae Smith is like maybe like a Deshaun Jackson type of dude, or like because I know he's really skinny and stuff like that. I think he's gonna be very good in the NFL if he stays healthy.
I like the comparisons they did during the draft that they said that he's like a Calvin Ridley. It feels really like about that same type of thing. I know it's easy to do that because it's one of those like it's from the same like college and everything. Separation will be there. It's just if he's big enough because cornerbacks are getting bigger and bigger every season. So.
And not only that, but obviously the like Nick said, the cornerbacks are getting bigger as well. So will that be a disadvantage in a way? But we'll have to wait and see. Sometimes a nice speedster, can overkill it in that way. Look at Tyreek Hill, what he's doing in Kansas City. So will he be and turn out that type of player as well? So there's always the potential as soon as you step into the gridiron and start playing the preseason and then move forward with the regular season. I don't think if the new regular season setting will start this year.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
So an extra regular season game.
Let's go Cowboys.
Let's see how it goes.
That way that division can go above 500.
For sure.
That's why they needed the extra game.
That was probably Jerry Jones and
we're gonna make it 7-10.
So we gotta do something.
7-10, guys.
I do want to piggyback off of what Lewis said because it makes a lot of sense with what they're doing with the Eagles and with a speedster because, Jalen's going to roll out. That's that type of quarterback and that type of play. So if you put a speedster in there, you can only stay with somebody for so long regardless of the size. So if you're able to get him out and roll out, even just like a RPO type thing, it might be nice, but
Stop it.
Wow.
So the Cowboys did not pick bad.
That is my own brother, flesh and blood, making the comments a huge Eagles fan. So I'm laughing because I'm enjoying this right now. Eagles Cowboys battle. Let's go.
Of course. And so they helped the Eagles to get the number 10 pick. So congratulations. Just in case, guys, are you excited if Aaron Rodgers stays in jeopardy? And do not.
Is he in jeopardy or on jeopardy? That's the question.
Let's go. I love that. So both, keep it both. Thank you, Nick.
Yeah. I hot take. He's coming to the Lions. He's going to get to play Green Bay 2 years or two times a year. It's going to be terrific. It's going to be just like what you said off air when Brett Favre decided to go to Minnesota to play every single.
You want to stick it to the Packers. Everybody wants to stick it to the Packers.
I mean, everybody wants a piece of our coach with how crazy he is. And, you've got a good offensive line we're building. Got the guy from Oregon, so can't complain there. Good decisions, good choices. So, Aaron, come on home to the D. Come on home.
Oh man, I'm gonna see what's gonna happen with Aaron Rodgers. That dude is a beast. I love him. What he does in the field, he's too good. Why the Packers are doing this to him, I don't know. But I think it's
not surprising. But not surprising. We did it with Brett Favre, and it's
it's crazy
with their goat in a way. Brett Favre, to do it to Aaron Rodgers, it's not surprising.
I woke up with an ultimatum on my phone. It literally said Aaron Rodgers said it's either him or the GM.
Yes.
Think about that. That's wild. That's wild that players, again, I know we're going to touch on the NBA and LeBron and what he does, but it's kind of that same thing kind of moving into the whole players taking their own career in their own hands.
True.
Exactly.
True.
But it's that I think that's why there are players starting to do that because we look what it's going on. Look what Green Bay drafted. They keep drafting defense, whatever, and not helping Aaron at all. I'm bro, just get out. Let's get out.
And Tom was back there sipping tequila, watching the draft, going, "Yeah, Trask will be my backup for another 4 years."
Man, Tampa, they know how to do it so far. Just because they got Brady.
Nasty.
It's crazy, the turnaround. It's crazy, the turnaround.
The only thing that worries me is the pickup that Kansas City did for the trade where they got Orlando Brown Jr. is a really good pick. He's going to be a good player for them. So it makes the Chiefs better. That's never something that I want to see moving forward with being Tampa Bay. So
true.
Yeah.
I know eventually we're not going to keep talking about the NFL again. This is a good tease for Nick's upcoming show. I'm really excited for you guys tuning into that one. But let's talk about the NBA, guys. We are really, really close to the NBA playoff. And being honest, I'm kind of worried about the Lakers. And because I know LeBron just got back last night and they lost against the Sacramento Kings. But I'm going to show you guys the standing first before we move on because hopefully we get better as soon as possible. So
I would just like to say that the King has returned. He's returning tonight. LaMelo Ball, baby.
I heard that, bro.
Here.
I heard that.
That is the one that you want to worry about coming in. Forget about LeBron James. He's old news.
He's old news. Let me get the conference. So let's start with this one first before we actually start debating. So we got Phoenix right now. They won yesterday against Utah Jazz. So right now they're leading the Western Conference.
Crazy.
So look at let me take the NBA playoff banner real quick so you guys can see everything here. Okay. So as you guys can see, Golden State still are in the playing games. The Spurs still fighting. Memphis still fighting.
We're still surviving. We're still surviving.
I've always been a fan of the Spurs. Portland, of course, we got Lillard there balling. Dallas Mavericks, they still are fighting. But the thing is with Mavericks, we were talking this off stage a little bit with Nick. I believe that I don't feel like they're just there yet, honestly. Even though Luka is a monster and everything, but I still they have maybe 2 years away or even one more year away to actually being like the Denver type of team, to be honest with you. But what are your thoughts right now in the Western Conference?
Lou, I'm gonna let you take this one started off.
Bouncing with what you just said, Ricky, in terms of Luka itself, that is scary to be thinking about that way. He barely is, in his early 20s, and look what he's doing. So imagine when he started, getting up in years and enter, because he's barely not even entering his prime, and look what he's doing. So imagine him in the prime and with a nice supporting cast. Dallas is going to be, at least for the following year, something to be scared of. But going with what you said, starting the segment in terms of the Lakers wise, if they stay as right now as it is standing wise, and they keep being in the 5th seed, I won't have a problem, or as a Laker fan, if I was a Laker fan, with them being a 5th seed, especially with the unfortunate news about Jamal Murray. With Denver. But if they get lower than that, especially 7th seed, and Utah stays at that number 2 seed, I know that there's the play-ins and everything like that involved and everything that can change the scenario as well. But at the same time, I would not even phase Utah. I would not worry about the Clippers because that's irrelevant, especially in LA with with the court and everything like that, and being kind of in the same city. But at the same time, I don't want to get lower than that 6th seed, especially for Utah. Utah is a different animal in that regard.
Yeah, I feel like Detroit Pistons vibe with that team.
Exactly. So it will be interesting how everything.
Just giving credit, like little shout out to Nick's team.
Hey man, I have sent that team off many times before. I'm rooting for Dallas now. That's my new team. Like Lewis said, with Luka being so talented and him playing since he was 13, but he has an old man's game. And so he's going to be in the league for years and years to come. He could go as long as LeBron because it's not taxing on his body what he's doing. He's just fundamentally sound. And so being a Dallas fan and rooting for him and the Mavericks, Porzingis is kind of that piece, kind of not. You have Tim Hardaway Jr., shout-outs to the Michigan man, but they just don't have enough. I'm looking at teams on this list right here, and it's like they're not going to beat Golden State right now. They're not going to beat Portland. They're not going to beat Memphis. So they may not even make the playoffs. And if they do, I don't see them going further from the first round. So, but being an OG head of the NBA, I love these classic teams that are popping up on this list on this side, man. You see Phoenix at the top, the Jazz, Denver, Lakers, Portland,
it's like watching the late 80s.
Oh my goodness!
Way, yes.
You want that 80s, 90s basketball for it. You're looking at the top with Charles Barkley at number 1 in Phoenix. They could do that. So,
yeah.
Before we move on, to the Eastern Conference. So, like you said, Luis, eventually, if the Lakers hopefully they stay in 5th seed, they will face off Denver, and then eventually who wins between Utah and whoever gets there. So hopefully they stay in the 5th seed, but Dallas owns the tiebreaker with them. If Dallas continue to win and they fell on to number 5, that's why I believe the Dallas Maverick got a chance to be the 5th seed, just because they already own the tiebreaker against the Lakers. But we have to watch out with the Portland Trail Blazers right now. So there's still 5 games or 6 games, I think it is. So it's going to be crazy intense because everybody's 5 or 4 games, 3 games down below. So it's going to be fun this coming 2 weeks. So I'm really excited.
Don't forget about Denver either, man. Joker having an MVP season. They could be up there. They've struggled a couple years, but they've been the 2-3 seed the past 2 years. So that maybe now they finally have a little bit of what they are used to in the playoffs. You know, you ain't going to worry about the Clippers with Paul George on their team, but another sleeper is Portland. Definitely don't count them out. They almost beat the Lakers. I know it was the bubble, but
let's talk about that real quick. Now you're talking about the MVP, so now we're in the Western Conference. So for me, Chris Paul is going up on the MVP conversations. I know he has Devin Booker in his team, but I'll be honest with you, it's hands down, it has to be Nikola Jokic, the Joker, just because he's played every game this year. Like I don't know how many games already Jamal Murray have already missed, but still, he's always been the one carrying that team the whole season. Triple doubles, like 30, 15, 10, a high field goal percentage all the way around. Right now, they can be in the 3rd seed or even the 2 seed if Utah loses eventually. That's crazy. So for me, it has to be Nikola Jokic, the MVP so far. It was LeBron, but LeBron got injured.
Oh, get out of here with that, man. He got injured. You can't even see my quotations I'm putting up right now because of this screen. You know, D-Well, I'm not going to cuss on your show. You know, D-Well, he was like, a week before the playoffs, I guess I'm okay now. Stop it. Stop it.
The master manipulator. That's basically what it is.
Shoot at your false idols. He's horrible.
The master manipulator.
I know this is a long debated topic.
No, that's not true.
This is the one topic
I want Joker over Embiid in the playoffs 110%.
Yeah. It's going to be tough. I love Joel Embiid. Trust me. He's a monster as well. But I see what he did last year in the playoff. And I'm like, even though Ben Simmons was out, but still, injuries, I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's move on to the Eastern Conference. Again, this is crazy. Look at this beauty. We got Brooklyn #1. We got the New York Knicks.
This is basically, in a way, the early 2000s right here.
Exactly.
I'm watching this, the early 2000s right here. Milwaukee. With the exception of Atlanta, in a way, being in the mix. But early 2000s right here.
Sixers with Allen Iverson days.
That's the last time the Sixers were good.
So yeah, Brooklyn #1. So with Philly, Doc Rivers, you think he's gonna win Coach of the Year, or I think they're gonna give it to the Knicks or Phoenix, or even
if we're being honest or straightforward, it should be Tom Thibodeau, hands down. Nobody expected the Knicks to be in the position that they are and steamrolling at the end of the season. So, but at this point, it will not surprise me if they give it to somebody else. But for me, Coach of the Year should be Tom Thibodeau, and with the way that he has handled the Knicks and making them finally relevant in so many years.
Give that man his Coach of the Year because it's going to be the only thing that the Knicks win the rest of the season.
You don't think that Julius Randle will win at least the MIP award, the Most Improved?
Oh, I'm sure that's true too. I will give you that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I forget that's even an award. Yeah, I will definitely.
I don't get. But yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So, dude, I know you brought out LaMelo Ball. They're fighting for the playoff, and LaMelo Ball starts to coming back today, and I forgot they're in the 8th seed and everything. That's kind of a game changer a little bit. Not a whole lot, but still, he helps the team a lot. Trust me.
Big old brand.
We got Washington, of course, right now balling with Westbrook. I don't trust them in the playoffs, but let's see what happens. Boston, I'm really disappointed on them. Another talented team with Brad Stevens. I don't know what's going on with him coaching that team. Miami.
Identity. That's the problem.
Yeah,
some thinks Jaylen Brown's running it. Some teams say Jason Tatum. They need to have a set player and know what they're going to move forward with, and then build around them. They don't gel well enough when they're on the court together. So
Yeah, man. Tatum, let's give him props. He scored 60 points last night. He dominated. Tatum is just so weird sometimes. That dude is like, I feel like, I don't know, like sometimes I don't know if he's like, it's more like attitude thing with him. Like when he decides to do stuff, he does it. It's like, I don't know, it's weird with him sometimes. And I feel like he's going to be like a great player. One of the great players with Luka and Zion Williamson for this upcoming years. And then we got the Hawks. I know Trey Young was injured, but he's coming back soon. Let's give props to Jrue Holiday. Nobody talks about him, and I love the way he plays, the stuff he brings in the table, the person he is off the court. Everybody knows. But man, Milwaukee is a team that nobody wants to play. That's for sure.
I don't know. You could crop this all the way up to the Brooklyn Nets, and that's who's going to be in the finals game. So
that's true, bro. It's not fair with the Nets.
Nobody's beating the Nets. Let's be real. This is just going to be satire at the end of the day because it's not happening. I do have a question for you guys, and I'm not going to try to make the comments mad, but if you were building a team right now and you had your star player, who would you rather have, Jason Tatum or Joel Embiid?
Ooh.
Based upon what? Like this season?
Like you're building a team around this player, and like they're going to be an MVP caliber player.
Are we bringing forward. If to the table?
I mean, if then when? I mean, it
with
is
no injuries.
Yeah.
I'm going with Embiid right now.
So
consistencies with Tatum, like Ricky said. Mm-hmm. Like there's some nights that he's balling and scores you 60 and dominates you.
He's unstoppable when he wants to.
But you know it's too much consistency, and at least for this year, Embiid has showed up, and actually man up and dominated. So for me, it's gonna be Embiid.
Yeah, but the real question, I will pick Nikola Jokic over Embiid every day of the year. Every day of the year, like for me, honestly.
Week, hour, month, all of that. I'm going to play devil's advocate and say that I would probably have Tatum on my team just for the simple fact that, you can find a center. You will be able to put like an Andre Drummond or even a secondary character center in a role like that in today's NBA. But you need actual like wings and star players to move forward. So I don't like Embiid personally. I think he's made of glass and he hasn't shown enough. Maybe this year he can change that.
Yeah,
but
we have to see.
Moving forward, I would take Tatum probably. So
for Miami Heat, we had to.
If Embiid changes the attitude and his actual mindset and continues what he's doing, he could be the potential player to swing back the league from being a which is not for me. It's not going to happen. It's too deep in the way of style that we're playing right now in the NBA.
Right.
But for me, he has the potential to bring it back to have the big man have a bigger role, especially within the paint in a way. So,
he's in the wrong time. You're 100% true. If he was in the 90s, he'd be eating. He would be eating.
Definitely.
Oh my goodness. And with the 76ers, like just think about that team if you put Embiid on that team. Like that's something that they were missing. Well, I don't know if they had Andre Iguodala or somebody like that at that time. I couldn't even tell you. Yes. But definitely like Joel Embiid, but he's out of his element right now. It's just not today's NBA. I mean, you see Steph Curry pulling up from half court and he's hitting. So what do you need a center for? Like it's bad, but it's true. Like
exactly.
Miami, another team that has been disappointing. I know they have a lot of injuries. Jimmy Butler have that COVID thing, and plus the injuries. They got Victor Oladipo in that team. They got even a better roster, I think, even though they missed Jay Crowder from last year a lot. But we're gonna see actually what they're gonna do in the playoff. Hopefully, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I always a fan of the basketball culture that Miami builds. So. Let's see eventually when we see the playoff. Again, guys, we're going to do a lot of NBA and NFL stuff, especially with the playoff coming in and the NFL training camp where we see how the players react to certain stuff. But yeah, guys, I'm really excited to talk this over topics, and then MVP, most improved player, rookie of the year. You think it's LaMelo Ball, right?
I don't
LaMelo
know.
Ball is the rookie, or
It
like
depends. He missed a lot of time. Like Anthony
Yeah.
Edwards been hooping, so I wouldn't be surprised if they give it to somebody else. I think LaMelo Ball deserved it when he was playing, but
Yep.
you can't just take him out of the game and then think he can still win it. So
Exactly. Yeah.
like
And what are you guys' thoughts on the defensive player of the year? I know this is the toughest one. There's a lot of rumors between Ben Simmons winning it. Giannis is creeping out again, like always. He's just born with so many gifts, but not to close, I guess.
For me, it's I don't know yet. You know, it's all depends on what the voters are thinking at this moment in time. To be honest with you, they you know, if I had to pick, you know, for me it will be in a way Ben Simmons, but it's the voters. You know, sometimes we have said, you know, in a way, oh, he's going to be this player, and all of a sudden, boom, the voter said and surprised you with someone that you go like, really? Like, what are you basing upon that? So, you know, it's a give and take in a way.
it becomes political at the end of the day, like Lewis is saying too.
Yeah, I hate it. I
Who
hate
has the
that
face,
too.
who has the fans behind them. That's why I think LaMelo could still win, just because he's got such a following behind him. But Ben Simmons should, but I mean, not many people even play defense still in this league. So it's like
Exactly.
I would give it to Ben, but at the same time, he's not that like name. When you're talking about him, it's usually because he's missing threes. Like, and that's sad because he's such a well-rounded player, but it's true. Like,
Yeah. So let's see what happens, guys. It's just only like 6 games to go. Closing it in really hard. Let's see what happens. I'm really excited.
I just
But
got
now,
the update.
guys-
The Hornets are leading the Pistons right now, so they'll get that win tonight. So
Oh,
move them up. Move them.
let's go. Yeah, so you already talked about it, LaMelo right now being against Pistons. Yep.
That's
Songs
the Pistons, I know. Rodman, baby. Bad
Yeah.
boys.
and let's see. Let's go. Let's move on. Let's segue to our now movie part segment of the show, guys. And this one, we're gonna talk about our favorite X-Men movies from the Fox universe. I know a lot of people like it's not that flashy like Marvel. Like for me, it's better than some DC movies, but still, I think DC has some better content. But still, I do love my X-Men. So let's talk about our X-Men movies, guys. First, I'm gonna try to put some pictures in one of the first movie that started it all. Let me get it real quick.
The OG.
So one of the first movie we got with Patrick Stewart and the first X-Men, and like so for me, this movie, this is one of the first comic book movies that I think I saw honestly, and I wasn't expecting much. And I'm like, I got surprised a little bit. I'm like, I did enjoy it for the time. For me, it does ages a little bit when I rewatch it a couple like years ago, but I still enjoyed it. It was a good movie. What are your thoughts on the first X-Men movie, guys?
Now, for me, in my opinion, this if we're talking about the universe itself, for me, this is my number one reason. And I know this is debatable because you have obviously other movies that we're probably going to talk about, but this is basically what started it all, in my opinion, in terms of opening the door for comic book movies. So you got to give it to for X-Men movies. I know that after this one, it went in a way like a roller coaster ride up and down. But you got to give this, at least in my eyes, this is my number one movie, X-Men movie of all time, just because of what has
What it
found
brought.
after
Yeah.
the great movie in a way, nice introduction for different characters in a way. Obviously, there are some few of them that when you see the actual, like, let's say, cartoons from the 90s, you go like, why they went on that route of downplaying the character or not adding a character in the lineup. So, but overall, you got to give it to this movie.
Yep, I'm with Lou on this one. This was my number 2 if we ranked it. I didn't just had a loose ranking. I liked X-Men 2 because I'm a big fan of Kurt Wagner and Nightcrawler. The way they did that character and everything just was a little bit better.
The way that X2 started, bro.
Like, that's right. But again, for Lewis's defense, the Holocaust, the way it started for X-Men with Magneto, like, those are some nasty films. I feel like the only thing we missed as fan service is that we didn't get any of the actual X-Men costumes, which I know a lot of people were disappointed with because it was a 2000s movie. So at that time, doing that was kind of hokey. It was like you didn't want to see that. And now everybody's like nostalgic, like we talked about earlier in the show. And everybody wants the original costumes from the comics back because they can make them cool.
Exactly.
And so
it's more easier with the effects nowadays to actually do it.
And Nick pointed out something really good about going to the animated series and the movies. I think that they went out of the way and created the standard black suit and just having the actual colors as the pinstripes of the borderline of the suit, just because of that, because they didn't want to be too cartoonish in that way. I don't think that they visualize, especially Fox, being like, wow, if we go straight up and continue that animated series, costume-wise, it's going to be intended for like a kids movie instead of, general population type of movie. So I can understand their logic there, but at the same time, now that we are seeing like Marvel booming as it is right now, it would be, for me, really disappointed if the new iteration that Marvel does with X-Men doesn't have some sort of, comic book costumes in their iteration of X-Men. I think they gotta make a way to separate Fox for MCU, from the place.
I was just about to say that. I think that's the way that Disney and Marvel can separate themselves from it being the Fox one too, is because, you see the costumes from the X-Men original, even when they did First Class, they were still those same type of like almost X-Men Evolution, like cartoon costumes. But then now you could easily do a Wolverine costume that wouldn't look weird. But imagine Hugh Jackman in like a neon yellow and blue suit. Like, it kind of be weird at this point. So like, you want to get the right people to fit the right molds now, since we're moving into costume characters. I feel like, though, at that time, it was like, if we're paying Hugh Jackman to be in this movie, we're going to show his face. And now you don't care. Tom Holland will go in the Spider-Man mask the entire show. So
I get it with the costumes and everything. I really don't care like if they do justice like the comic books. I just want like the right story to be told and stuff like that. And again, if they actually do the costume right, cool. Plus the story, that's a plus. And hopefully when we get the mutants in the Marvel universe, it's gonna be awesome. We geek out, and I believe we will geek out very soon, guys. Very soon.
Are you saying that Monday, when Eternals trailer drops, we're gonna know mutants are in the MCU? Is that what your team?
Kevin Feige doesn't do that.
Beyonce's gonna come down in a white Storm outfit. Is that what you're saying?
So just in case, Nick just teased us with because I did post on my Facebook page that maybe the Eternals trailer can like pop up in the social media, because there's like a lot of rumors going on, like conventions, whatever. Like they're gonna show the trailer on Monday. Hopefully, it's true, because I'm really excited to see that trailer, because that movie's coming in November, guys. That movie is coming in November.
And I know
that's gonna be my birthday gift. Right,
happy birthday movie, man!
Yeah.
I know it's not the same of what we touch on with the Marvel and the NBA and everything like that, but you have to expect to, with this entertainers thing, we're gonna have to talk about Star Wars a little bit. I'm not gonna get into detail, but May the 4th is coming. There's gonna be a trailer or something. They're going to talk about something Star Wars. It's not just gonna blow past us. I know that they're putting out the Bad Batch, but that's not going to be.
Yeah, that's a new series.
Yeah, we'll keep it moving, but I just had to say, be ready for a
definitely.
trailer that day too. So
I do watch, just in case. I did watch Rebels. Of course, I have watched the whole saga, like Star Wars and everything, Mandalorian. I will. We can have a show if you guys want. We actually, if you guys want, tell us, and we can actually do a full Star
Yeah,
Wars
just
show.
comment below.
If you guys are
Comment below.
into it. I
if we
did
do
learn
that,
about.
we're dressing up, all of us.
Hey, that's actually a good idea. Why not? Right?
I already have my head shaved in a way so I could be, Grogu. So I just have to make myself green and have the ears, and I'm good. I'm good to
There
go.
That's gonna be perfect. That's gonna be perfect. Get some little light mint paint on your face, everything. We'll get it going, man. We'll get it going.
Let's go. Let's go. So moving on, guys. We got, like, I know Nick brought it over a little bit.
Look at that actor, man. Look at that.
So I know this movie is awesome. This movie did the whole Wolverine story, the way it ended and everything. I got so excited when we got, like, even at the end, like the stuff that was going on, like when it told us this movie is leading to the Dark Phoenix and everything.
Yes.
I'm not gonna talk about The Last Stand, but
It was okay.
it was okay. Exactly, it was okay.
I'll
But
just like to say that Kurt Wagner stormed the Capitol before it was cool. So
hey, nice.
just
It was just one person.
yeah, just one person.
By the way, I know, like, this is old, but my favorite superhero always has been, like, Professor X. Always,
Okay.
always, like, just the stuff he tried to, like, just for the psychology. I know he controls people with his mind. I know it's not fair. He reads the minds of people, but at least he's doing it for, like, helping, finding a better way to actually, even though it's debatable, the stuff he did to Jean Grey. So again, he was trying to protect her of his dark powers and stuff like that. But when we talk about X2, the X-Men, like, this movie, for me, this movie, in this universe, I got it number 2 in the whole, like, if we ranking it,
Yep.
I would put it number 2, X2.
I had it 1 just for the time period it was out. It's just a nostalgic movie for me.
Exactly.
Coming out in 2003, we waited 3 years because that's how people, kids listening to this podcast, you used to have to wait for the movies. Now they just come out in 6 months. Like, so
Yeah.
it just happens that way. But yeah, I love that movie. I loved all of the character development. I love how they brought some of the characters in, but didn't oversaturate with doing like an end game type of feel. Because they did have a lot of characters they needed to bring in that people wanted to see: Cat, Colossus, etc. So
And not only that, but giving also, in terms of the villains, a bigger role for Pyro. And this is where Pyro, in a way, got into
Yeah, he showed up.
a bigger platform in a way. And if I'm not mistaken, they changed the character or the actor for when he was shown in the first X-Men to, if I'm not mistaken, to X2 and X3, which it was the same character. But I agree with you that this movie was so exceptionally well done in a way, not oversaturating the storyline and make it feel so with the many characters. But for me, this movie propelled Hugh Jackman into a whole new level.
oh yes,
The way that they also incorporated the Wolverine storyline and went through it. And it started this, separate saga of just Wolverine storyline.
Yeah, Wolverine.
Which we're not gonna talk about X-Men Origins because it's.
why not? That's a great
You
movie.
can bring it. Yeah, definitely. Because we're gonna talk about.
It was a good movie, but
I'm just mad at Deadpool.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, the way that they did Deadpool,
They did him dirty.
It's like you were not expecting the comic book character, but wow, you went that way in that regard. So
not only did they not do the suit like we just talked about, but they didn't even do the character. So, but hey, man, that scene was dope though. The way they set that up and bringing in Gambit, one of my favorites growing up.
yes.
The games that you would play for X-Men, whether it was your Game Boy or it was like a Nintendo or something like that. I loved playing with Gambit, bringing that in.
I used to play Gambit in the arcade game, the Marvel vs. Capcom type.
Yes, Marvel vs. Capcom was that. Oh my goodness!
So many
good old days. Jesus.
I can still hear the spiel of what everything is. I don't know. I might even put that a little bit over Mortal Kombat. Just hot take, but Marvel vs. Capcom was nasty. So
true.
Fun days.
But with X-Men 2 too, I thought it was interesting because kind of what we got in the MCU with like Iron Man 3 and Tony Stark and dealing with like all of his stuff that he went with like mental health and stuff like that. You kind of got a first taste of that with Rogue when she came back and she had that traumatic experience at the Liberty, at the Statue of Liberty, coming back down, trying to deal with her powers and regulate them. It was just kind of a different take that you don't usually see on like a movie like that at that time because it wasn't talked about. Like,
yeah. And again, I think this movie brought another level to like Marvel, to like heroes properties, another perspective on how to do like superhero movies. Like we can go dark, like we can go like tell this story this way and everything. It propelled in a way, like Louis was saying, to do this type of movies with superheroes. And like I think a lot of executives just follow this X2 this example going all the way and doing superheroes. I think Christopher Nolan followed a little bit the recipe of this movies. Like every director I think followed this. I think X-Men, the whole like first X-Men movies, even though the third one was okay, but it helped a lot of properties to become what superheroes movies are today.
I think that what killed in a way the third movie, and I agree with Nick. For me, it was a good movie. Mm-hmm. I liked it a lot. Yeah. It was just the way that they went about the actual storyline in a way. We were so focused about having Jean Grey blew up in terms of in the Phoenix Force and everything like that. That in a way it was just all about the actual cure wise and oh my god, the cure for the killing the mutant gene in a way. So but I like the storyline. I think it was fun. I was upset that right away they killed Cyclops in that regard, while finding Jean Grey, and then surprisingly, having the two biggest, telekinesis, mutants in a way battling each other in that, mental state for whatever, they were doing. So if I like the storyline in that regard, so, but it wasn't for what it was called or what it was expected, especially how Nick touched about how X2 ended, with having that, beautiful silhouette of the Phoenix, rising up from the waters after the lake crash and everything like that. So, but I liked it. For me, I liked it. Yeah,
I liked it as a movie too. It just, I feel like a lot of people, because the subplot was this like weird Cyclops, Wolverine, like Phoenix love triangle that kind of like overshadowed a lot of what we went to see the movie for, and then brought kind of separate things to the table. And with that, you didn't get as much of the villain because the good guy was the villain, which I guess was okay. But we were so used to like good versus evil at that time that it kind of felt like now you write it a little bit different and you put it out now. I think it hits different because everybody's on this like everybody's bad and good kick. But at that time, you had good guys and bad guys, and you don't blur those lines. Like, so
true, all true. But again, like when we talk about X-Men Last Stand, you guys hit all the points. It was an okay movie.
Yep.
And definitely for me, it missed a couple like stuff, but I did really enjoy the storyline, the way it started with Jean Grey like not able to control her powers, and then like waking up to all this Phoenix And I'm like, whoa, like the way it started, and then Logan at the end. Spoilers, if you haven't seen it, you're not gonna see it, I guess. But
He's
man,
spoiling the movie 5 years ago.
yeah, you're not a fan if you haven't seen it. But yeah, the way like how Logan did try to like stop her, I know it was kind of like, oh, okay, I get what you're trying to do, just to connect the love triangle. He has to finish her all the love she actually. I felt it a little bit, so I did enjoy it. It was okay, but it was the least. It was unfulfilling a little bit. I was unfulfilling for like being like X-Men 2 was like going really high up, and then this one was like, okay.
Am I tripping though, or did we finally get the Juggernaut in that?
Did we? I'm like, I know.
Yes, in X-Men 3 was this weird dude with the like a cement type of helmet in a way.
Yes. Yep. It wasn't done well, but that's like, for me, that was the character in the comics / like TV shows that I watched. So you wanted the Juggernaut, like, so.
Like his only like high point was when he was running behind Kitty Pryde, and he goes, it's the Juggernaut, and
yep.
The B word.
That was his highlight of the movie.
Yeah. But again, so many great stuff like that we got for the first X-Men movies. If you guys think we missed stuff, like comment us, like let us messages. If you guys, what are your favorite first 3 X-Men's? Now we're gonna move on to the other phase of X-Men when they actually try to do it again. They brought
is the key word in that 100%.
Exactly.
No.
We got X-Men on the First Class. Let me go back in the banners.
See, and this was a good movie for the movie itself, but the characters just weren't there. Like, they played the hell out of Darwin, bro. Like, and everything else just kind of like, what is it, like Kevin Bacon's character, or whoever that was, like with the glass crystal lady and everything else. Everything just felt like it was trying to tie into that like heart-wrenching Holocaust scene, but never hit the mark for like making me care. I don't know how y'all felt about it. Like, I don't have this high on mine. So
you can go first, Luis.
It was a nice introduction to obviously different characters that probably the general population were not in a way too accustomed to seeing, especially if you were a big fan of the animated series in that regard. But I liked it, and I liked especially the selection of James McAvoy as well as Fassbender as the young Charles, as well as the young Magneto. It was fantastic, their portrayal.
That I agree with.
Too much in a way that even people want them to come back in the MCU role as well, but we can talk about it if they should or should not.
It's gonna be hard.
If they want to merge in what they have done, which I don't think they should do, but people asking about them at least portraying those roles as well. Granted, one of the biggest rumors in terms of WandaVision was if Magneto was going to show up at the in the last episode, who was going to be portraying that character as well, if he was going to be talking about the Fox merger with Evan Peters coming back as the Quicksilver in a way. So I liked it, the selection of it as well. I mean, it was an interesting storyline, deviating and in a way separating themselves in a way from what they did in terms of the first 3 X-Men movies, which I like as well. If you want to start in a clean slate and setting up your stage in a different decade completely, and introducing that initial storyline and the heartbreak when Magneto deviated the bullet to injure Charles Xavier. That was hard to see, and seeing that friendship being broken at that point, it was hard to see.
What was hard was that, or when he wiped the girl he was like talking to's memory?
Yeah,
like,
that was tough.
Those were like hit to each other, like right there. Like, so
honestly, I do like this movie. Okay, like when we talk about X-Men, of course, the classic. They're one of the first ones out of the gate, so we give them credits. But this three movies, actually, I did a really not three movies. I think they did one, two,
For
three, and
you're
four.
talking
So
about
four.
the second
And,
iteration.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
if
exactly.
you want to count Dark Phoenix.
Exactly. Exactly. But this movie, every time Professor X and Magneto were talking, I was glued in the like freaking TV. Like their conversations were so deep. Always, he was trying, like Professor X, always with the hope that you can like become this person. You can actually, you have like serenity in you. You can use your anger, and that's why he helped him to get his powers in a way. And I'm like, the way they were training and the conversations, every time they were talking, I was in. Obviously, Kevin Bacon as the villain, I love him. I know he was kind of like too much sometimes, but I did enjoy him as
Yes.
the villain in that movie. So for me, this movie was very good. Honestly, this movie was very good. Um, it's not in my top five of the X Men universe, but it's really close. From like obviously, I think I put it like number six. So it's for me, this movie hits, and just for like introducing the characters again, it hits the buttons they're supposed to hit.
Yeah, but reason being that I don't think that it's higher on any of our lists is because when you think of the X-Men, those aren't the characters you think of. Obviously, you have Charles Xavier and then you have Magneto, and those are like your big ones of these movies. But then they kind of wanted to not recast, so I understand that. So they brought in different characters that they didn't touch on, or like iterations of different characters that weren't like main focuses in that. Like I think they still brought in Shadowcat and they still brought in like a Colossus like character and stuff. But and then Beast was kind of a duplicate. But like if I'm watching for Cyclops, I'm watching for Storm, I'm watching for Wolverine. Like it's just
Yeah.
what I want to watch. If you're putting X-Men on the title, that's who I'm looking for. So that's just being real. Like
Yep. So now you're talking about it. We're gonna go for it. This is the movie that brought both
oh
universe together. X Men, Days of Future Past, and I'm gonna say it, guys. This movie for me hits it in a way that any X Men like could ever do. And even I always compare this. Man, did Marvel did this movie in a way? But man, for me, this is it's tough because I'm gonna mention another movie later that is kind of tied just because, but I don't want to like compare it. But for all the X Men movies, this is my number one. This is my number one movie just because all of it did, the connections, the conversation that Professor X was telling to the old Professor X that they felt Earth one or whatever, something happened. He felt he didn't do the right thing in time, and he needed Professor Xavier to do the right thing, and in a way, he did it. Now, obviously, he needed Logan to do this, and I just love every. If you guys haven't seen it, just you have to watch it again. Honestly, if you guys watch it again, I promise you, this movie is gonna like hit you in a different level. This movie was great for me personally. This is my top
It
number
is in
one.
my top three. I'm battling in a way with another X Men movie. Well, it is within the X Men universe. I will say this, but I like this movie, and I was so excited how they, Brian Singer, brought back in the band together
Yep.
and meshed them in a way. I was in a way sad that we only got to see, Patrick Stewart and James McAvoy like interacting in a way. By itself, I thought that they would cut down a little bit something else in a way where all X Men, were all together, and all Magneto with the new one. And but there's so much that you could do as well. So I think if they would have gone that route, it would have bombed in that part. So I was satisfied for what they did, but it was nostalgic, trying to see,
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart and James McAvoy, playing the same character in that regard. So, but for me, it's a top three. Top three movies in that regard.
I guess I'm gonna have to rewatch this, man, because
You have to,
I
man.
didn't have it in my top like five.
Oh wow!
Whoa.
So that's just
Wow.
like seriously, like for what I think, I don't remember this movie being good. I remember it being a miss for me. I thought the Sentinels were very weird, and I thought that it was just kind of not done well with the connection between what you guys are saying that you love so much. So I'm gonna have to rewatch it. It's on Disney Plus, so I'll rewatch it and tell you next week what I think. But yeah, I don't really remember this. I remember Origins more than this movie, to be honest with you. So I guess I might have just had a bad week. So when I saw it, so I'm not going to toe on anything and make any hot points because I don't have any to go off of. I've seen it one time and at the time it wasn't for me, but I don't know. I definitely have to rewatch it now. So.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Obviously, the Sentinel was the weakest part of the movie, but still, I just watch it for like the entire perspective of like what Professor Xavier needed to do to save himself, I guess, in a way.
Yeah. Like I think that the way that the last 4 movies. Let me correct myself. I was in a way disappointed in Dark Phoenix, to be honest with you. So for me, it was in a way a storyline where the main focus just was on 2 characters in particular, Charles Xavier and Magneto. That was for me. In terms of First Class, portraying their friendship and how they were so close, and they show us, what was the point where they split themselves and they went on their way. For Dark Days of Future Past, for me, the storyline was mainly about Charles Xavier and himself trying to recuperate the hope back in mutants and in humans as well. And then in following the Days of Future Past with Apocalypse, for me,
yeah, we're gonna talk about that
the
one.
resurgence in terms of Magneto, and in a way, the second trilogy, they try to humanize Magneto in a way. I don't know if you guys felt that way.
Yeah, they did. Yes, they want to show like more the good side in his like.
Exactly.
Well, it was moving into that same time. I think what was this 2010 and 11, where these movies are coming out, and it's like what we're used to now, where it's like not everybody's just evil. It's we have good and bad, and so that's kind of like
in the gray area. Yeah,
wanted to move. Yeah. So, but I loved Apocalypse on just his actor and everything too. Like I can't think what's his name, Isaac something. He's from
it's the one that is from Moon Knight.
Moon Knight, bro. Moon Knight.
Oscar Isaac, I think it is. Or
Oscar Isaac. That's exactly what it is. Because he was
he's gonna play Moon Knight.
He was nasty, man. The worst character in this was Olivia Munn, though. I will say that. But this was a movie that recuperated for me. This is definitely in my top 5 for the movie.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
Do you guys remember when they showed the first footage or pictures about Apocalypse and how they were comparing with the evil guy from the Power Rangers movie, Ivan Ooze?
Yes, Zordon.
Wow,
Yeah.
It was like, dude, like during the time, we're seeing just stills of a character, and you're already comparing him like to a Power Ranger character. Like, really? Like,
I'm disappointed. Okay, I'll be honest with you. I was expecting the CGI of like Thanos in a way. Why you didn't just do like the thing with the CGI and build it up? Because Apocalypse, when I watching like the X-Men, it's right now on Disney Plus, the animated series. I used to watch them a lot. That dude is like really big, whatever, powerful, really scary, and it has like the ideals of like a Thanos would have. I was expecting that thing. I did appreciate what I think Cyan Kimberg is the one that directed this movie. I get what he's trying to do a little bit in this movie. I didn't enjoy it. I was expecting, I think, a little bit more of the villain, or like the gray villain that now superheroes do. I did enjoy this movie, but I was expecting a little bit more. It's not top 5 for me, but it was overall like a good movie. Again, it was a good movie.
I'll be honest. I agree with you in the sense of that, just because the build-up. There was no build-up. It was just boom. The end of Days of Future Past, you have the 4 horsemen with a young, Apocalypse, and that was it. But there was not, it's so different. This is why Marvel is in another level. Just because of the way that they build up a character and set up.
That's why they need a Kevin Feige, bro. Now they got him.
So I'm gonna be really interested of what they want to do, because I know we're talking about who's gonna be the next big bad about the Marvel universe. But now that we are talking about X-Men, there could be a possible, we're talking about Galactus, or let's say Kang the Conqueror with Ant-Man and the Wasp or anything like that.
Dude, I know we're going off topic. I'm sorry, my bad. Kang the Conqueror.
What if it is Apocalypse in a way? He has that type of ideologic about something evil, like of a Thanos type of thing. So I'm just saying,
And the actor they picked to do that from Lovecraft Country, he is incredible. So he is going to bring a whole nother level to that. Because if you've not seen that on HBO, obviously we've seen Mortal Kombat on HBO, can watch it. Go back and watch that series because it's creepy, weird, but it is super dope. So definitely something you got to check out. But yeah.
I cannot wait for Ant-Man 3 and Quantum Mania. That's the first movie he's going to pop up.
I think it's going to be only him. Because if you look at it, the other two Ant-Man movies didn't really hit well. And so I think that this is going to be the introduction of Kang, and then he's just going to take over the movie, and it's going to just leave the other characters, or maybe like if they want to bring in his daughter for like setting up a Young Avengers then. But like I only see the guy.
I did love Ant-Man, so you better be
Ant-Man 1 and 2? Like, oh boy.
Bro, Ant-Man 2 was cool. I did enjoy it. It wasn't that great, obviously.
Don't watch my rankings on the Mad Titan and the Wolverine then, because you will be.
I think I heard like Ant-Man. So you did enjoy Ant-Man. I think you said, but you didn't actually.
Was good, but you compare it to the MCU. If I compare it to one of these movies, then it's good. But if I compare it to the MCU, it falls.
It's on a lower tier. Yeah.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. Good God, like. Let's
I'm
just
surprised they even make him. I think they only made him like a standalone movie just because of the fact that they want to introduce, the theme of quantum
continuity,
continuity to a storyline. That's basically what it is. Because I was watching someone that is also like us, a big Marvel fan and everything like that, and he is in a way just like Nick. It's just like, it's good, entertaining. We can give you that, but what's the purpose? It's
marketing.
There were so many other characters that could have gave Black Widow, for instance, deserve a standalone movie first before Ant-Man. But just because they wanted to introduce the quantum realm and time travel, especially
they did that in Ant-Man. Exactly.
It was just because of Ant-Man in a way.
And good God, throwing in the character of Ghost that was just horrible.
I didn't like her, man.
The story of Paul Rudd trying to be like his wife, talking through him. Like, oh, good God, man. You can't say you liked that movie.
I did. I agree with you with that. Like, there were like some cringy moments. But again, I still love it because I think it's helped us understand more the quantum verse a little bit and how it works. And just in case,
I enjoyed 2 minutes of that film, and it was the end credits when they snapped and he was stuck.
Oh man!
When I knew that it was over. So,
man. So I got so many theories that relates to this quantum burst, and even that scene. I think you guys. I don't know if you guys saw. Like, I do like a lot of crazy stuff that I watched. Like, in one of those scenes, I think you can see. Once you go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, I think that's where this area, like, there's a universe that where like the Kong people, like the Conqueror lives. That's the area. If you messed up that verse a little bit, that like when the Thanos snap happened, and when Doctor Strange knew what was going on, I think it messed up the quantum verse a little bit, and that's why we're introducing this. Because unfortunately, the reality was that half of the people was supposed to be dead. That was the reality. And when they brought all that people back, it messed up the quantum whatever. And that's why we're going to see this thing eventually leading up to.
Messed up people's houses too, man.
Bro. And actually, I love that. Like, I love that their series are talking about it. Like, it's messing people up.
Yo, hashtag leave them snapped, man. That's all I got to say, bro.
This is crazy.
Damn rat, right? Damn rat.
So that little town, you don't think that's Doctor Doom? You don't think we're gonna get the introduction of that, or because it was an Ant-Man, you're like Kang the Conqueror is for sure. Like,
I think we're gonna get Doctor Doom eventually to Black Panther. That's gonna be my take on that.
Neymar, Doctor Doom, that's gonna be lit.
I think we're gonna see Doctor right in that movie. I cannot wait though. I cannot wait.
Let's get it.
Yeah, but honestly, I did enjoy like Apocalypse. I was expecting more. I agree totally. But then after that, we got Dark Phoenix. We got T. So let's move to this one. We got Dark Phoenix. I love my girl, of course. I'm a Game of Thrones fan. I know Nick is gonna tell you as well. I'm in love with this red hair lady.
I have a confession to make.
I will tell my wife that every day.
He hasn't watched Game of Thrones, has he?
I mean, I'm in the 1% of people that haven't watched Game of Thrones.
Oh no!
Yes.
Oh, and you have HBO. Oh man.
I mean, I have to watch it just because of you guys, but I'm a 1%er.
I will say that
good for you, bro.
Like this movie because you choose in this series whether or not you're going to be Stark Stanza or Stark Arya, and I am Arya over everything. So
I love
I'm
Arya.
not going to say anything else because it will ruin Lewis's experience. So we are not.
I just tell people who watched the first episode. You will stay glued. You will stay glued. You want to know what happens in the next episode just because now somebody knows about something and now like somebody's gonna tell if not. But yeah, man, Game of Thrones. What are your favorite series, Lise? What is your favorite series that you have ever watched? I know this is quick.
Wait, I have to say you have to subtract Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision because it's way too new and they're way too good.
Let me tell you what.
Take those off the table.
The one that I will go back to watch, especially if I'm scrolling down TV, The Big Bang Theory.
Really?
Whoa.
The Big Bang Theory. I don't know why. It's like
I get it.
It's funny. It's this weird interaction of I think they made nerds being cool in a way. I will give you that. So I will watch that anytime. And I gotta give thanks to my uncle in this regard because he was the one that introduced me to this. And it was like, this is pretty cool, I'll admit, talking about science in a funny way or whatever. The only time that I can sit down really comfortably and talk about science in this regard.
You're right there, man. You're right there.
But for me, I'm gonna do this quick. For me, one of my favorite series, of course, it's gonna be Breaking Bad and then Lost. I got Lost and Breaking Bad right there. Like
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams
killing it, man. If anybody watched Big Sky, he's doing that too. It's just as good of a show on right now, so definitely check that out. So
tune that one in, definitely. But yeah, man, Dark Phoenix, guys. Do you guys? I know, like again, we mentioned about Stargirl. We love her, but again, do you guys what do you guys think about this movie?
The problem with me in this movie is, and I don't know, a lot of movies tend to do this when they don't think they're going to make as much money, where they put the best scenes in the trailers, and that bothers me a lot. Marvel never does that. Marvel even sets up some things that don't even have that type of, like, they may not even be in the film, and just like you're waiting for it and never happens. Like we were waiting for Zemo to put on the hood. He never does, but it's in the trailer. So it's like stuff like that where Dark Phoenix, everything that was cool about that movie was shown within that 4-minute trailer at the end before it came out. And so it's like, I hate watching a movie like that. It feels like a waste.
Yeah. By the way, you guys go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead, Ricky. Go ahead.
So, okay, there was a lot of confusion in this movie. I heard there was a lot of stuff going on off the scene. So if you think about it, the way this movie starts, it's like
Yep.
What are the villains of Captain Marvel? Because I think that was the year that Captain Marvel was showing up. Skrulls. Okay, Skrulls. So I think that was the confusion. I think the Skrulls are about to show up in the X-Men universe, and they had to change the whole thing and everything even though they're the same thing, like shape shifting, whatever. And that was the movie that I'm like, nah. I think I like what they have, but I think they have a lot of plot holes in that movie.
Sure.
The biggest one was the way that how you end Apocalypse with Jean Grey obtaining the Dark Phoenix Force, and the way that you start Dark Phoenix movie, and her being in space, and you get this cosmic, ray, approaching their spaceship, and that's how you get at your powers. It's like hinting in a way the Fantastic Force, the four, in a way. It's like, okay, so which way are you gonna stick in terms of storyline? How Dark Phoenix is embodied in Jean Grey's body. So it's like, which one it is? Was it Apocalypse and her, being and digging deeper into her powers, or is it because of a cosmic storm in space? So which one it is? And I think that derailed the storyline completely. Upset a lot of fans in a way, and it didn't move forward with being a good movie in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it struggled with an identity 100%.
Exactly.
Obviously, like you said, with the shape shifting, obviously the Dark Phoenix, just to a layman, looks a lot like when Carol Danvers goes binary. So they have those connections and tie-ins together too, which makes it difficult. But you're always going to take, again, another movie that's not very highly ranked that I think was done very well. It was just in the wrong time period. Check out my podcast to see why I think that.
Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, if it wasn't done, maybe Dark Phoenix would have been better. But this kind of ended X-Men to where Sony was like, or Fox, I mean, was like, maybe we should hand it over to Kevin and let him create this baby again. Like, because
the last nail in the coffin.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. So
yeah,
I think this is where the talks were like back and forth. And they were hoping the Dark Phoenix was gonna be good, so they can either raise the price or anything like that, or be like, what, we can do this, Marvel. We don't need you. And with that flop, I think was the last name in the coffin, and Kevin said like, either give it to me or it is what it is.
Yeah, and let's be honest, okay? Infinity War, as a movie, incredible. And you have to be a movie franchise that goes right after them and does something else superhero related. You don't want to touch that. Like, so many of those movies were looked at as being 10 times worse than what they actually were, because they finished from Endgame, like from Infinity War, what they did, and then Endgame. It's not fair. Like,
exactly. You can't. It's hard.
That's the movie you picked to do after Infinity War. Like, of course, people are going to be disappointed. Like,
yeah, most definitely. Just in case, guys, I know I didn't have the picture here. The last movie from this universe, even though Disney did it for like Disney bought Fox, so it was New Mutants. I don't know if you guys watch New Mutants at all. It's like that, more like teenager, like horror vibe, kind of movie.
The dark side of the
weird, man. It's weird.
There's a comic, like it's that type, like kids and like being controlled by a doctor or whatever. It was okay. If you're bored, you haven't seen New Mutants, you can enjoy it for what it is. But
I would just rewatch a different X-Men movie. I'm just, I watch it. It's like they tried to put horror and Glee together, and it didn't work, man. It was weird. It was just not hitting right and everything. So
it is in a way so bad that even Disney, when they got the property, goes like, do we even?
They thought about it a million times until
you can have this. So like, but can we say that Game of Thrones characters destroyed the X-Men universe? Because that had Arya in it, and the other one had Stanza in it. Like,
I don't know, man.
For Game of Thrones, the movie, to be better on Fox, is that happening?
You already know who we got in Eternals, right? You know who we got in
better
Eternals?
hope it's nobody from Game of Thrones, because
We got the 2 Starks, bro.
yeah.
We got the 2 Starks, so I'm excited to see Madsen and Jon Snow in that movie. So let's see. By the way, Luis, see that series.
I will.
One day.
Let's talk about the closing of one of my favorite superheroes.
Ooh.
This one right here, guys. For me, I know I was saying that this is number one when because I don't count it like Wolverine movies. I don't count it. I know it's a part of the X-Men, but this is number one with Days of Future 1A, 1A, 1B. But this movie did everything right. Like honestly, I just love everything about this movie. Obviously, the darkness and the gritty. Is crazy, man. The stuff with Professor X, even like dying at the end, like the stuff he was saying to him again. And I love the girl, the combo with the girl. I even love the villain, even though like you think this movie's it felt like a 90s movie, almost like a 90s movie. And this movie just I don't know, it like another level. It's just I don't know, man. I just love it, man. It's great. It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, this storyline of Old Man Logan, I mean, it was so unbelievable.
Oh,
And the way that they, give that nice send-off to not only Hugh Jackman, but also Patrick Stewart, embodying, their characters, what better way to end it, in this movie. And I agree with you. The whole storyline was so unbelievable. That from beginning to end, you knew as the movie progressed, like this is not going to end well. We are going to see the actual end of one of our favorite characters of all time, in terms of Hugh Jackman being the actual Wolverine. So it was so nice to see, and him finally saying, you know what, this is it. So
Yeah, like
true. It's true, man, because it just goes with like if DC/Quentin Tarantino put into this like thing, because like you said from the beginning, it was going to be dark. You knew what was going to happen. You saw the trailer and stuff, but you still didn't get that full feeling until you're watching it. And with everybody passing on and doing stuff, this is one of those things where like I know fans want Hugh Jackman and they want him to be Wolverine. Don't put him as Wolverine in the MCU. Pick somebody else. Go in a different direction. Change if you want to make it girl, different nationality, anything like that. But don't make it Hugh Jackman, because he has this is
how you gonna say it? Where the 90s costume for the animated series will come in perfect, because you can put whatever character, whatever is the case, and go from there. But don't
I agree with that 100%. So
yeah, I trust Kevin Feige on what he does and how he's gonna do the mutants thing. So I cannot wait. You guys keep talking about it. But man, Logan is one of the best Fox movies I think they even have related to superheroes. But of course, it has this guy. Cause I know like we cross over like the other X-Men Wolverine origins. I did love it too. So I did love
Wolverine and then X-Men Origins and stuff like that too.
Yeah, I did love like the one when he even went to I don't know if it was Japan or China.
Yeah, Japan in the Wolverine. Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
Look at this guy.
Who's the guy right here?
Who is this guy? This is the future. This is the future of Spider-Man movies right here. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you never know, man. Then this crazy madness multiverse, they can even bring it in if Marvel wants to and have fun. But
I don't know what podcast, because I do so many. I said it on, but I just need the line where Ryan Reynolds Deadpool looks at the new Wolverine in the MCU and just goes, "You're not as attractive as the old one."
Oh, I hope the third movie, and I know it's not going to happen, but I wish that we can have a new iteration of the X-Men before the third one, just because of what you just said, Nick.
Yeah,
it's going to be so hilarious, in a way, and it's gonna bring us down to memory lane on that regard.
I think Deadpool 3 is happening in 2 years already. I kind of know like it's just upon us. I think you're just coming on the wraps. I think this movie is just. I think they're working on the script and everything already. You're just not telling anything to us. But like, man, this movie hit us with a surprise. Everybody thought that this movie is not gonna even get made until like somebody released the video in YouTube. Ryan Reynolds. A lot of people saying that was Ryan Reynolds that did it, and maybe he did, but whatever. His team got this movie made, and this movie was everything that every comic book fan wanted, and casual fans to love and enjoy, and it made a lot of money. And the uniqueness.
Another character that you just can't see do another role. Like
exactly.
Ryan Reynolds, I don't see anybody else doing this role justice. Like you could do it, and you could make an argument that there'd be some clever people, but he just hits it out of the park. And to literally come from sewn mouth in what was it called? Origins to now go into this one and be able to talk and do his thing and just be hilarious. Half of the things that are funny in this movie we can't even say on this podcast. Like it's like
it's so crazy, bro.
Talk about redemption of a character, not of an actor, because we remember Green Lantern and we don't want to go there in that case.
Green Lantern will just come up. Let's bring him back, not Ryan Reynolds, but let's put him in the MC or the DCU. So
yes, but redemption of a character, like you said, Nick, coming from Origins and the disaster, and I love how he in a way killed that character in Deadpool 2, and in that famous scene when you see Hugh Jackman with I think it's Silver Fox in a way, that's what the Chinese girl that was supposed to be married with him in Origins, and all the rest of the mutants, the young Cyclops and everything like that, running to that gate while open, and you see Deadpool and the actual Deadpool killing the character. That was Ryan Reynolds, a mastermind right behind it, killing the character in that regard.
Even in Deadpool 1, when he does that scene that everybody remembers coming out of the elevator where he's blocking all the bullets, he does that and misses completely. It's great. It's great.
Yeah. I know, man. Like Deadpool 1, amazing. Deadpool 2, obviously not as amazing as the 1, but introducing new characters like Domino and like all the characters. And when the team joined up, and that team is not gonna make it, the way they all die, it's just like, man, the creative team behind this production movie they're great. Honestly, they're great.
Really good soundtrack too. A lot of people didn't talk about that, but it had some heavy hitters. So like,
I know, man. The first one, DMX. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
You had Salt-N-Pepa. You had like Tag Team, all kinds of different ones that just that 90s vibe that everybody wanted. So
yeah, so great stuff, guys. Definitely great stuff on regards to the X-Men universe that Fox brought us. We enjoyed it, most of it. I know like there was like a bunch of like maybe little stinkers, but still overall we did love the movies. Again, if you guys want to go for it and tell us what is your favorite thing of like the X-Men universe, go ahead for the closing argument.
Yeah, I think that I want to know what we're going to cover next. I want the comments or the people or anybody to tell you, are we doing Sony Spider-Man films going through, or should we hit Star Wars? What's the older ones you want us to touch on again? Because this was so fun. Like,
definitely,
that's what I want. Final note for me: if you're considering Deadpool an X-Men movie, it's over everything. There's no question. Love the character, love the movies. If not, bring that nostalgia back. X-Men 2, Kurt Wagner storming the Capitol before it was cool. Let's get it. So
let's go.
Wow.
The only good time that storming the Capitol was okay.
Well, we'll see. We're not done yet. So
True. Now, for me, it was a fun episode, man. Talking about the old times, early 2000s, about how live comic book movies are coming up to life. Which in technicality, then it started with X-Men. Sorry, it started with Blade back in the late '90s, but still, X-Men was the one that made it cool. Throwing back with those late '90s animated series as well. So, I mean, it was a nice to go. Think about those great movies as we were talking about it, and I had a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah, like definitely. Again, guys, thank you for like tuning in. Like whoever, again, if you guys want Star Wars, like Nick said, even horror movies,
Yes,
you
we
will
talked
even
about
watch
that.
horror movies. Like, what are your favorite horror movies? Like, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of content coming. Oh, obviously, maybe this week we get movie trailers, like maybe Eternals. There's a lot of reports coming that maybe we get a trailer of that movie. I know I'm really excited. We don't know much about the Eternals, and that's the good thing about it. What's the story behind it? So far, the story is that they've been with us since the beginning of the time. They're like gods in a way. I'm really excited about that movie. And again, guys, please join us, follow us, message us, comment, and you guys don't be afraid. If you guys want to be in the show, be part of our team, let us know, and we can actually have fun. Yeah, and we can do sports. We're starting different segments of that too, like basketball, football. So let's keep it going, guys. Let's definitely keep it rolling. And again, Nick, where can people follow you?
That's going to be Ask You White on Facebook, ASKU. Come on through. I got many podcasts. I got many more coming. I am the young Kevin Feige of podcasts. I haven't missed yet, so we'll see. I'm waiting for an Ant-Man to pop up, so that. But definitely check me out. We definitely have a show going on Tuesday. We're going to cover all things draft, as Ricky said before. So we'll go a little bit more in depth, things that people really wouldn't expect Alex to know that he knows more of. So, we're going to get in with that. And I'll definitely give a shout out to all my Michigan players that got drafted. It fits in with this. I will say the player that we called the juggernaut at Michigan was Ben Mason. He's going to be a great addition to Baltimore. So that's how I'm ending my segment here. So
go ahead. That's a good tease.
Yes. Nice segue right there. And for me, you can follow me in Luis Torres Rodriguez on all platforms. Again, guys, thank you for joining us. Send it off to Ricky. Unfortunately, Jerry Jones in this case.
Unfortunately. Yeah, guys, Jerry Jones, the master of merchandise and how to promote losing teams. I'm
this is actually a Cowboys hat, which is crazy.
Yeah, man, I'm not gonna say it, man, because I don't want to get you in trouble with your own fans. But yeah, this amazing Cowboys hat. But man, thank you guys again. Please subscribe on YouTube. We have the videos at YouTube as well. It's more easier for like the data for you guys if you cannot watch it from Facebook. Subscribe to our podcast and those platforms like Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Again, thank you guys and see you guys soon. Take care.